Grippo casually remarked that he lost a brother to breast cancer. Now, we typically don't feel or think, or our awareness is not raised to think in terms of male and breast cancer. But men have breasts. Men do get breast cancer. It is nowhere near the level of breast cancer in women, but yes, they do. And Bill's brother lost his life to it. So I'd like to introduce you first to Dorothy Reed, who was it 22 years ago now, Dorothy? 22 or 23?
Survivor.
That you started Sister to Sister.
24 years old.
Wow, 24 years old. It's amazing. And Dorothy, I know most people who do know you know that you are a survivor,
Yes.
also of breast cancer, as is your daughter. And so if you could give us a brief overview of what CARE is under your auspices here, how you make people feel like they must take care of it, but you do it with concern and you do it with heart. And then I would like to bring Bill into this to tell his story about his brother. So, Dorothy, give us a brief overview.
Okay, Sisters have been around since 2000, and one of the things, the main focus of our organization is to help those women that are diagnosed with breast cancer when they're newly diagnosed. And they may come to us from a doctor's office, or it may be word of mouth. We give them an application to fill out, and we will help them financially pay a bill. Mm-hmm. The money that we raise, that's what we do. We give back to the women in this community. Mm-hmm. And we pay it for their rent or to their PSE&G or a copay. So it's so important that breast cancer is 12 months a year. This is October. You will see a lot of pink. And everybody always think about women, women with breast cancer. But as PJ was saying, men do get breast cancer. There's about 1,000 men a year that's diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm so glad to have our guest here today that's going to tell us a little bit about his brother. Because with the lady, we know we do a breast self-exam, we get a mammogram. It's almost routine. But we're going to hear today about what do men do when they get breast cancer.
Exactly. So if you don't know who Bill Grippo is, I find that hard to believe if you're a Franklinite. Bill Grippo is involved in so many activities and so many organizations, a former school principal, a current Board of Education member, spearheaded the development of the gazebo in Franklin Township, very active in the Franklin Food Bank, and so many other organizations. And just as I mentioned in a casual conversation, I don't even know how it came up, Bill, but you said, I lost my brother to breast cancer. Oh my God! We must have been. We were sitting in Jersey Mike's, as a matter of fact, during their grand opening, and it came up, and I thought, this is an amazing story for Mr. Grippo to share if he was so inclined in doing that. He is, because he is a community-minded spirit, and if there's an awareness that he can instill in you, that you will walk away from this, whether you are the wife of a man, whether you are the man, or a relative, an uncle, a brother, an aunt, or anyone, you've got to be aware. Men have breasts too. They're not like ours. They don't have the same social significance. They're not prominent in the same way. But men have breast tissue. The opportunity for a cancer gene exists. Bill, tell us what your brother's story was all about.
So, first of all, Dorothy, you are a hero.
Thank you.
I mean, to think of the lives you saved is amazing. I hate to grab the mic from her. Yeah, us guys, we are a little bit macho. And guys just don't think of breast cancer. Yes, we are indoctrinated about prostate cancer. And I tell all my friends, you got to get checked, if you know what I mean. And when we were in the Rotary Club, Dr. George Patterson, George Patterson, he was great. He would give his prostate speech every year to the guys, and a lot of them would just giggle, right? But about 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 33, in that area there, my brother's wife felt a lump by his nipple, right? You know, and us guys, sometimes we look in the mirror, see how our pecs are doing. Anyway, and she said, "You should, what is that?" And he said, "I don't know, it's a little lump." And eventually, not right away, he went to the doctor, and the doctor did a mammogram or some type of test. At that time, the science wasn't as it is today. So, you know, what I say to guys today is, if you feel it, tell somebody. If you feel something that's weird in your breast area, go see a doctor, because now we have so many advanced medical procedures. But anyway, he began to go to the doctor to get it treated, and it metastasized, got worse. And at one point, they thought they got it. You know, they removed some of the breast tissue. We had to go to surgery. Now, the funny thing is, there were three of us, three brothers, right? And my father used to say, "My three sons." That was a TV show back in the day. And I was the oldest, the best looking. But anyway, I was the oldest. My brother Ralph, the middle one, who passed away, he was the strongest. He was a college wrestler. I mean, this is what cancer could kill a giant, right? And he was this big guy. He used to lift weights, and, you know, big, nice looking guy. And then my brother Gary, who is a podiatrist and doing very well in Connecticut, but really he's a jazz musician. I have to throw that in because he loves his music. But we never would have expected Ralphie, we call him, to fall to this disease. This is a female disease, right? And so guys didn't even want to talk about it. Like, your brother has breast cancer? That's weird. And so they thought they got it. You know, he went through some treatment, but it metastasized, and it went into his lymph nodes. And you know that when it goes into your lymph nodes, it's not good. And so he suffered for quite a while in the hospital. It was a hospital up in New York State, because they lived in Monroe, New York. And we would visit, and my parents would visit, and his wife was very caring and by his side. And it took a toll on everyone. Of course, my brother's the one who suffered and ultimately passed away. And I remember seeing him just a night or two before he died. The cancer just took this big, muscular guy to like a banana peel. Like, it was unbelievable to look at. And he suffered. You know, he suffered a lot. And they did not have the treatment for men. There was something called a T-FOL. I forget the name of the chemotherapy. They were going to do some experiment, but they didn't want to because they felt it would damage other organs. And it was very, very sad. He belonged to a church up in Connecticut, in New York State, and they had a simple funeral. And I remember my kids going to that funeral. It had a big stake. And I remember it was very devastating to my parents, especially my father. Italian fathers have to be true. Italian fathers could be a little crazy, right? I mean, they got a lot of emotion. And my father, it wrecked him. It wrecked him. I mean, I don't want to think about it. And my brother was a good soul. You know, he was a calm guy. He was not mean. And very good salesman. He was an insurance salesman like my dad. And, you know, it was terrible to watch this disfiguration and disintegration. So what's my message? The message is that we're guys and we get checkups. I go to the doctor twice a year. I'm a fanatic, you know, because I want to live healthy. And you want to live a long life, guys. You want to live a long life. And prostate cancer is very important to get the digital exam. I'm going to be straight out with you. And also, have your breast checked. The doctor can feel around. And if there's lump tissue there, he could have it checked out. And you could avoid what I watched my brother go through. So that's my advice. Yeah, we see Breast Cancer Month, right? I'm going to walk Saturday with the ladies, and most of the people walking will be ladies, right, sisters? But I'm going to walk. and the police car will be there all painted pink, and it's a great day. But there are guys that could be watching that walk that might be carrying that genetic gene. I've raised a lot of money over the last 50 years for muscular dystrophy. That was a family disease that we did have for the whole family. I could tell that story another time. But I never raised any money for breast cancer because it wasn't anything, for men's breast cancer, because it was never anything really to speak about. So I'm just giving you a little peek over the fence that it's a good idea to get. I'm not trying to put fear at anyone, but diet, exercise, all that stuff's important. But physical checkups are the most important thing. Thank you.
And just the awareness that you're a guy, that doesn't mean that you don't need to check. So that when you have your annual physical, you're not always looking for a lump. You're looking to see, in fact, get a baseline so that you are aware of what your breasts feel like, so that you can be aware of any changes that may occur, so that you are aware and your physician is aware. This is how it felt last year. Or if you have a predisposition, as you do in your family, absolutely every checkup. You must check your breast.
I forgot to say is that when I went to my primary a couple of years after my brother's death, for a regular checkup, and then they ask you what family history, and he goes, "Oh, your brother had breast cancer?" He says, "You need to get a mammogram." I said, "I got to get a mammogram?" He goes, "Yeah, it could be genetic." So I have to tell the ladies, you're pretty brave with that mammogram thing, because I didn't have that much tissue, but when they squeeze it in that machine, it hurts. And I told the doctor I don't want to do this every year. But anyway, he said it's fine. You're okay. But I did get a mammogram. So
The pancake. I think you should get it every year. I think if you have a genetic predisposition, and I don't operate on the principle of being a doctor at all, so please don't send me nasty letters. But if you've got a predisposition, as Mr. Grippo does within his family, prudent is wise. Right. And checkup is wise. Knowing what your tissue feels like is wise and can be life-saving. If your brother's wife had not diagnosed that, God only knows how much worse it could have been. Not that it was any picnic. Obviously, it was awful. But it could have been so much more devastating. I don't know how much more devastating it could be, but it could have been something that was undiagnosed without any treatment, and you may have lost him sooner because his awareness was not what it was. And again, we women don't have prostates, so there's not a cross connection on that level. But we humans and animals, we have breasts. We all share those two things. And we need to understand that we can all have the predisposition for having an issue with those breasts. And thank you so much, Bill Grippo, for sharing the story. As personal as it is, I hope that there is at least one man out there who hears you and says, you know what, I'm going to go get checked. And better yet, come Saturday, October 5th at Colonial Park. I believe 9 a.m. is the registration. I'm going to let Dorothy talk more about it. 8 o'clock is the registration. 9 o'clock begins the walk and the run to raise funds for breast cancer. Sister to Sister is the name of the organization, but Dorothy Reed would never turn away a brother. So please, guys, think of it in terms of your own diagnostics, your own awareness, your own concern for health that you don't think of on an ordinary basis. You've got to be thinking of it. And Breast Cancer Month, it's right here. And we have one of the premier organizations in Sister to Sister. As Bill Grippo mentioned before, the number of lives that Dorothy Reed has been active in saving, in the number of lives she has bettered. When people come to this building on Hamilton Street, you're not walking into a clinic. There are no medicinal smells. There is nothing that's punitive in any way about this group and this environment. It's a home. It's a family. It's a fireplace. It's a formal dining room. There's a beautiful garden in the back. They hold concerts. It's an organization that is designed to make you feel like you do have a family. And we're all revolving around helping you deal with this issue called breast cancer. Breast cancer doesn't know that it's October and doesn't care if you're male or female. It goes where it goes. And it is our responsibility to ourselves and those we love to make sure that this is not overlooked. And with the incidents that Bill Grippo described, now you know someone who lost a man to breast cancer. Please be aware. We invite men. I want to see a ton of men at this thing Saturday. So, Dorothy, tell us more about this event on Saturday.
Okay, Saturday, 8 o'clock, registration opens. We'll have a DJ there with music. We'll give out little refreshments. We'll do a 2-mile walk if you're up to it and able. We'll have tables there. We'll be selling things for sisters. And this year, we also will have a memory table. As Bill was talking about his brother, this year we decided to have a memory table so you can hang a pink ribbon for someone that you lost. Because even though they pass on, there's one thing cancer cannot steal. It cannot steal the memory or the love you have for that person. So we're going to celebrate that a little bit. So come on out with us, bring your children and have some fun. Celebrate National Breast Cancer.
Can we pay at the spot?
Yes, you can still register online at our website, s2scnj.org. Register online, pick up your T-shirt on site on October the 5th.
And also, if someone wants to donate to Sister Network.
You can bring your donation that day and leave it at the registration table. You can always donate by our website. You can mail a check to our facility, 1201 Hamilton Street, Somerset, New Jersey.
Okay, so again, registration in person, 8 a.m. Bill Grippo has made the commitment to bring a check. You heard that, Franklin. Thousands of people are listening to you right now. He's got his T-shirt. He's ready. Now, that's a dark pink, but he's also wearing another pink T-shirt for Franklin Warriors.
Just for the Warriors, and everything I do is about being a warrior. So be a warrior for breast cancer. How's that? Let's tie in with the Franklin Warriors.
Okay.
And keep in mind,
guys are warriors, so let's do it.
well, we're all warriors. We're all warriors for all of our health because we have to be, because that's what sisterhood and brotherhood is really ultimately about. We look out for our brothers and we look out for our sisters. And please do keep in mind, again, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, registration in person, 9 o'clock, the walk and the run. And
I've got to put it in my phone right now.
yes, please do. Just keep in mind, my closing words to you, real men do wear pink.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, as usual, Dorothy. This is PJ Parker, Franklin reporter and advocate. We will see you Saturday, and you know we'll be back.